Hey guys, Gojira 851 here with our next installment in the Godzilla review / retrospective. Kaijuto no Kessen, Gojira no Musuko. Okay, English translation: Monster Island's Decisive Battle, Son of Godzilla. Here in the United States it's known as Son of Godzilla. And I think I have found the one film that is probably the most divisive of fans in the Showa series. But, sorry, block my face. Let's get into this. Alright, so our film opens out at sea when a plane is flying overhead and their radio starts to mess up. When all of a sudden Godzilla rises from the sea, they're like, oh crap, it's Godzilla, what are we gonna do? And Godzilla's ignoring them. And he's actually heading southwest. And the plane actually gets back its radio. And they're like, oh, where'd that transmission come from? Oh, the southwest. Hey, Godzilla's heading towards there. Okay. Cut to the southwest. And an island known as Selgale Island has a group of scientists on the island doing weather experiments. Now, the idea of their weather experiments is to control weather so they can populate less desirable places in the world, like barren deserts, tropical rainforests, make the Earth a larger place while keeping it the same size, because in the future, we may have a population problem. So, okay, nothing wrong with that. When another plane goes over, it may be the same plane from earlier, but it took them all night to get to their location. But this plane drops off a guy and some provisions. This guy, Maki Goro, a reporter, and he thinks that there's a big scoop on this island, and he wants his report. So at first, he's told to go away. But he refuses to go, and later in the night, he's sitting at their compound, and they reach an agreement. However, Maki has to do the cooking and some of the cleaning as well. So, the next day, Maki is making food, and he messes up. So he has to go out into the forest and get their famous Solgill spinach. It's like, okay. And he goes towards the beach, onto some rocks. He sees this gorgeous young girl swimming in the water. Now, he's freaking out. He wants to take a picture of her. But we have to remember something. It's very hot on this island. No one is comfortable on this island. Everyone wants to leave except for the scientist, the head scientist in charge. But everybody thinks that, it's too hot. And meanwhile, Maki's sitting here sweating his brains out. The girl diving underwater when she's seen, and she, leaves. Or was she even there? So Maki returns back to base. It's nighttime, and everyone's sitting down eating dinner, talking about plans. When Maki's like, "Oh, what about the girl?" "Oh, there's no girl. You're stupid." When we meet our first kaiju of the film, Kamakurus, a 20-foot tall praying mantis. Creepy, but they drive it away with some rifles. When the professor says the next day we are ready for the experiment to begin, and Maki's like, "Oh, what about the girl?" "Oh, there is no stupid girl. I want to leave this island." The guy saying that is named Fukawa. Now, side note: the actor who plays this Fukawa was in this film called Matango, also here known in the US as Attack of the Mushroom People. Let's stick to Matango. Okay, it's a really good horror film about, mushrooms, but, you know, that's a discussion for another time. But this guy's good in this movie. Okay. So, they're going to do the experiment. And Maki runs out into the jungle, out to the same spot, trying to call for the girl. When the scientists begin the experiment, Maki's able to get back to the compound. When the first part goes without a hitch, they detonate this one balloon and it's fine. They go to detonate the second balloon when the same kind of radio transmission comes in that actually messes up their radio, and they detonate the second balloon at the wrong altitude. Instead of freezing the island and causing a winter, it actually, creates a nuclear storm. Massive rain comes down, nuclear rain, boiling hot, just very unpleasant. Cannot live in it. Human beings cannot live in it. So if there was a girl on the island, she's dead now. So a few days go by, and everyone's out looking around, and the professor, he doesn't want to give up. Everyone else is, not really happy. When we see that the Kamakuras aren't 20 feet tall anymore. Yeah, they're actually a few hundred feet tall. And they're all converging to the center of the island, where they're saying that the radio interference is coming from. They begin digging at this, rock formation, revealing this. A massive egg. So the night falls, and the girl is still alive. Huh. Okay. The next morning, though, Furukawa, he wants to quit and he wants to leave. So he actually grabs a rifle, and you gotta give him credit. He actually runs to the beach, and it looks like he's gonna try to swim home. I give him credit. Meanwhile, back on the island, the three Kamakuras, or as they call it in the U.S. version, Gigantuses, are trying to crack open the egg. They eventually do, revealing a small Godzilla. Meanwhile, back at the beach, Furukawa is approached by, and is trying to talk some sense into him when the ocean begins to foam, revealing Godzilla. And he comes ashore, because he's responding to the sound that's coming from the baby Godzilla. And Godzilla gets a new suit in this movie. We'll get into that later. Don't worry, we'll get into that. And Godzilla goes to the baby Godzilla, being attacked by these three Kamakuras. Apparently they want to eat him. And whoever says Godzilla was turned into a sissy in this movie, Godzilla repeatedly slams one of the Kamakuras till it falls apart in his hands, burning it alive. And one tries to attack him, and he breathes fire at that one. Pieces of that one fly off, it burns to death. The third one leaving. So Godzilla and the baby Godzilla, they look at each other, and Godzilla kind of walks off. Okay? He's new to this, give him some slack, It's an island, no one's not supposed to be there, so, kid's fine, it's a giant, playground almost. When Reiko, the girl from earlier, is actually, throwing these indigenous orange berries, these massive basketball-looking berries. It's kind of funny. In this scene, when she's throwing the berries or, coconuts, whatever, he kind of looks like Cartman. It looks like someone's throwing him cheesy poofs. Okay, I know. Godzilla comes back, and he throws his tail over for a minute. Well, Minya is his name, or Manila, or Minzilla, you know, he has many different names. I'm gonna call him Minya. And he walks off with Minya on his tail, you know, it's really cute. Next scene, they're going over the destruction, because when Godzilla came to the island, you know, he destroyed the science equipment, and Maki meets up with Reiko, and they all introduce each other to, you know, the science team and everything, and they're like, oh, there's a huge cave system we can move to where Reiko lives. It's like, did you guys ask her first, or are you just assuming you could go there? But anyway, they're going over Reiko's notes, or actually her father, Dr. Matsumiya's, and they find out that there's another monster on this island. A monster called Kumanga, or Kumanga, or I call him Kumanga, or in the film, the US version, he's known as the Spiga. And it's funny, someone makes the joke, this is some kind of monster island. We'll get into that later. But, you know, they're trying to set up so that they can, you know, call for help, because the radio is now out. And Dr. Matsumiya, he really wants to get this project going again. You know, give him credit for, you know, his tenacity. I don't know how long it took them to do this, because then we cut to Godzilla and Minya, and Minya is not a baby anymore. He actually looks like a juvenile. He actually has a row of dorsal plates going down his spine. And, you know, he's actually, you know, playing around. So, about a day or two go by when the science team all begin getting really high fevers. So they go to, so Reiko and Maki go to this red water, you know, around where Godzilla lives. And Reiko says, oh, that's where the Spiga lives as well. We must not disturb it, because it's sleeping right now. So, okay, a couple of rocks fall into the ravine where Spiga or Kumanga lives, and they are able to get the red water. The science team is healed. When Reiko goes out to get other medicine, she's attacked by the surviving Kamacuras, or Kamakura, or Gigantus, or whatever. And Minya tries to help, knocking more rocks into the ravine, and much larger rocks. Godzilla shows up and he fights off the Kamakura for Minya, and those two leave in a very odd manner, because Minya throws a temper tantrum and Godzilla has to drag him off by his tail. It's odd, but they're just whatever. Reiko and Maki are starting to go back to the base camp in the cave when this awakens. Sorry, I don't like spiders, and this thing's freaky. Kumanga awakens and spraying its webbing out of its mouth. Thought it came out of their abdomen, but whatever. You know, and just being a real terror. Actually following Maki and Reiko back to the cave, and a very odd thing, they actually built a scale arm of the Kumanga, and was actually reaching into the cave trying to get at them. So they're saying that okay, we can't do anything about this now. We have to get out of here. And Maki and Reiko, they use a cave underneath the other cave, and they come out on shore. They put a radio transmitter out there. But the professor says, well, we can't leave because we have Godzilla, Kumanga, and the small Godzilla. They're just going to shoot down any rescue. So we had no choice but to do the experiment. So we get a montage where they're all trying to do their thing, and unfortunately Minya battles with Kumanga. And this doesn't go very well. Okay, during the battle, Kamakura actually comes out and dies very quickly because of the webbing. As this is all happening, the humans are able, the science team's able to get the experiment going. Godzilla awakens. He's a deep sleeper in this movie. Okay, don't worry, I am too, but anyway. Godzilla comes to Minya's aid, and we get our our second big battle of the movie. Godzilla versus Kumanga. Battle is on. Godzilla throwing rocks. I don't want to get near that thing either. But, you know, and breathing fire. Actually, fire doing very little against Kumanga. It's kind of weird. Godzilla freeing Minya, but, you know, Kumanga starts using its webbing on Godzilla. And, you know, the battle continues. Godzilla able to get the upper hand. However, Kumanga played possum and used poison bite on Godzilla's right eye. Meanwhile, the science team is able to get the experiment going, and the island begins to freeze. Snow begins to fall as Godzilla and now a freed Minya are now battling with Kumanga. The two Godzillas are able to combine their powers in a one strong beam at Kumanga and defeat the giant nasty spider. As the rescue team comes and the human and the science team with Reiko are able to get onto a raft and go out to ocean. Look back at the island as it begins to freeze even more. Godzilla goes over to Minya, a freezing Minya. He's still a baby at this point. And he cradles with Minya, and the two of them go into hibernation. As the science team is freed. And Kumanga is dead. We'll see about that. So that was Son of Godzilla. And I love this movie. This is one of the first Godzilla films that I saw as a kid. And the biggest problem that I've run into talking to people about this movie is that Godzilla looks like garbage in this movie. I disagree. I'm not saying that he looks perfect, but the size and the girth that Godzilla has in this makes him look like a parent, a human parent. If that's what you don't like, well then I can't help you there, but he looks like a human parent. The face could have used maybe a little work. Maybe they could have stretched out the snout, you know, the teeth, you know, they were all points. You know, they could have did a little better with the teeth maybe, but the overall design of Godzilla in this film, I liked. When Godzilla's in the ocean, they used the Godzilla suit from the previous movie, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. But, you know, on land, I think he looks cool. The dorsal plates, you know, they're cool. I like him. Minya now. I don't hate Minya. Minya actually, you know, has some growing pains to go through in this film. You know, he can't breathe fire. He only breathes smoke rings like this. And only under extreme duress can he breathe atomic breath, like his father. What duress? Godzilla steps on his tail and causes a big, forceful breathing of the fire to come out. Okay. Minya is okay. The problem I have is the whining scenes that he does, because when he whines, he sounds kind of like a donkey. And I don't like that sound, especially when it comes from a child of Godzilla. Kamakuras, they were good monsters. Godzilla was able to destroy them very easily. I'm glad with that, except for the last one. Kumanga was able to destroy the last one. Kumanga, a marvel of practical technology. Now, Kumanga was mainly a puppet, made to move around with lots and lots of strings. And I think they did an outstanding job with Kumanga. The light up eyes, you know, the color coordination, the creepy hairs coming out of it, you know, the webbing spray, and it's just, Kumanga looked awesome. I think they did the most work with Kumanga, and he turned out really good. The human characters, all good. No one is unbearable in this film. I would love to see these people return in any future Godzilla film. Speaking of, a lot of them do return in the next Godzilla film. Well, several of them, but we'll get into that next time. As a grade, I would have to give this film... Oh, last thing, music. Music is okay. It's not Akira Ifukube doing his best work. It's not Akira Ifukube at all. You know, it feels good. This music feels good, but it's not Akira Ifukube though. Alright, now, time for the grade. I give this film... I get yelled at for this, I probably will, but I'm going to give this film an S. I love the family aspect. I love, well, Godzilla interacts with Minya. Minya can be a little annoying, but, you know, has a good heart, and he's kind of cute at parts. The human characters are all great. Kumanga's awesome. The Kamakers were there to put over Godzilla and the Kumangas. At one part, they actually made Minya look really good. They're great jobbers for the bigger kaiju in this film. So yes, this film gets an S. Okay guys, coming up next is originally supposed to be the final Godzilla film. See y'all next time.